Why are you so sad? Sorry. I just watched Selena Gomez's new documentary, and everyone is saying she's such a bad person. If she's such a bad person, am I a bad person? Hey guys, it's Zoe here, and today I want to talk about this new amazing documentary I just watched. It had rhinos and a girl crying, and the cameraman wouldn't go ahead and step in and help the girl who was crying until the very, very end when it finally broke the fourth wall and the cameraman finally hugged the crying girl when all she needed all along was a hug. No, I'm not talking about a new Animal Planet or Planet Nature, whatever it's called, documentary. I am talking about the new Selena Gomez documentary, My Mind and Me. My Mind and Me. Okay, it's not that new, but there's this trend on my channel where I talk about old stuff and I pretend that it's new, so give me a break, okay? So let's talk about My Mind and Me. What makes a good documentary? Is it its storytelling? Is it the cute little animals? Is it the emotional pull? Is it that it educates you? It's probably all of the above. But when looking at celebrities and celebrity documentaries, what makes a celebrity documentary good? Let's be real here. A good documentary for a celebrity is a documentary that is meant to sell you something, but tricks you in a way that you don't realize it's trying to sell you something. Subliminal mind games. That's what documentaries about celebrities do.
Hello, I like money.
What inspired you?
Money!
This documentary, My Mind and Me, does a good job building the character of Selena Gomez. It creates empathy and then paints this vulnerable character that we will see as Selena.
That I'm not good enough. That's something that I've felt a lot of growing up.
Let's be honest though, this is a highly curated documentary. It has a purpose. And so as we look at this documentary, we need to keep in mind that we do not know Selena Gomez. We do not know her as a friend. We don't even know how much of this is an accurate representation of how her mind is. But the whole point of the documentary is meant to make you feel like you do and feel like this is her. This is her story so that you'll connect to her.
Just be who you are, Selena. No one cares about what you're doing. It's about who I am. Being okay with where I am.
I want to pause for a moment. So the closest thing that I can pull out to compare it to is the Taylor Swift documentary.
Just gonna go have fun. No one out there that I know of in the audience actively hates me. Not get dead face.
Ready to do this?
Ready, totally ready.
Both of these documentaries are meant to show us a glimpse of a celebrity's life that we didn't know about.
Everything that I had gone through, it's gonna be there. I'm just making it my friend now.
I feel really good about not feeling muzzled anymore.
There's nothing that feels better than this moment.
You know, this is the beginning for me.
With Taylor Swift's documentary, it kind of showed us a political side, and whereas Selena Gomez is focused on her mental health. Both the Taylor Swift documentary and the Selena Gomez documentary have a pretty clear goal. They want to take the celebrity, which is up here, but show enough characteristics that we can humanize them and feel connected to them.
In this life, you have to show people empathy, have a chance to give people more than what you receive.
Plain and simple. We're gonna see a side of a celebrity that humanizes them, makes us feel connected to them because we see their flaws.
What makes me happy is connection, and it helps me get out of my head.
But wait, why would a celebrity want you to see their flaws? Why would they want you to see the negative aspects of them? Isn't it beneficial for them to be perfect? How does this sell anything? One word: parasocial relationships. Okay, that's 2 words, but you get what I'm saying. Parasocial relationships, whatever your opinion on them are, good or bad, they are beneficial to creators, musicians, artists, any type of creative endeavor. Because when you feel more connected to the person, you're more likely to buy whatever they're selling.
Money!
Now, I'm not saying money is the sole reason a celebrity will put out a documentary or put out art, but the people around them definitely want that money.
Money!
Now, perhaps Taylor Swift, Selena Gomez have a true desire to share their pain so that they can help others. In fact, the documentary does a really good job showing Selena Gomez express this desire.
Clearly, I'm still here to use whatever I have to help someone else.
So, it's not all about money, but let's be real here. If there wasn't a way they could profit from it, the people surrounding them, their PR teams, their management, they have to see dollar signs or they wouldn't go along and say, yes, let's do this.
It looks so bad. I'm just like, I have no idea what the I'm doing.
What part did you feel that?
From the beginning. So I get the voice that comes in my head that says that you missed this, that sucked, that sucked. Oh, you get a glimpse of yourself on the screen. Wow, that looks pretty funny. And then I'm sitting there and I trip over the clothes and I'm like, this is just, like, it sucks the life out of me and I don't want to perform.
I can't tell you how many times I almost cried. Her pain was my pain. The documentary did a good job at that.
The pressure is just overwhelming because I want to do the best I can and I'm not, I don't... Like, when am I gonna just be good enough by myself? Like, when am I gonna be, like, when am I gonna be good just by myself, not needing anybody to be associated with? Like, it's so...
You already are.
Regardless of how Selena Gomez feels, her PR team is still wanting to sell a product. So, the documentary is supposed to, in some way, sell some type of product. So, what is the Selena Gomez documentary trying to sell? Other than the obvious, which is a connection to her fans, in my opinion, I think the documentary is trying to sell mental health, but specifically based on the ending scene, Selena Gomez's mental health awareness bill. I'm not entirely sure what the bill is all about, but I think that's what the film is trying to sell you on. Which, I mean, honestly, can we get a round of applause for mental health awareness? Woo! That's right, depression sucks. Honestly, this message, this product is not as, like, egotistical or narcissistic as what some other celebrity documentaries are trying to sell, which is just a celebrity's image. But, I mean, we still need to recognize that she is selling something, and it's important to recognize it because, in a way, it's kind of an ad. So, you just need to understand that we're getting a picture of Selena, but it's not the full picture, and it's also a highly curated picture because there's a message, and they're trying to sell you on the message. It's not a bad thing. I mean, if it works, it works. It's just good to be aware of it. Also, I just want to preface, just because they're selling you something doesn't mean it's bad. I mean, is mental health awareness bad? No. So, I mean, it's a good thing. I'm glad that Selena Gomez has put her message out there, used her platform in a way to make people aware of mental health. But it's still good to be aware of the awareness that they're trying to sell. I do want to say, just for a moment, that I really appreciated her mental health awareness, though. Like, way too often, we're not taught how to deal with our emotions. And I think the whole point of Selena Gomez's bill is that, like, we're taught at a younger age how to deal with our emotions, and that is so important. We're not taught, like, do you know how much your childhood affects you? Whatever you do in your childhood, it sticks with you into adulthood. Yeah, that was shocking for me to find out. The ending scene does a really good job reflecting on how your childhood affects you into adulthood. There's this ending scene with Selena and her friend, and Selena goes, "It's called self-sabotaging," and her friend goes, "Maybe it's your childhood," because her childhood had chaos and now she just wants chaos instead of comfortability. And Selena's like, "That's deep." I'm paraphrasing. I'll try to put the actual clip in here, but I'm getting really sick of getting a copyright strike and then big companies stealing the revenue I was never going to make in the first place, because I'm a small creator. Help. Okay, now that we have established the documentary's goal, which is to sell a product, how well does the documentary do? Creating empathy. Right off the back, is back right? Right off the back. Is that correct? Is that a term people use? Right off the back. I don't think that's a term people use. Right from the beginning, the documentary sets the tone with the opening scene of Selena Gomez being asked, "How are you feeling?"
How are you feeling? I'm very tired.
Right there, the whole tone of the documentary is set. This is about Selena Gomez's feelings. And then we get this Selena Gomez narration and an excerpt from her journal. And she says, "I'll only tell you my deepest, darkest secrets." Right there, right, and within a minute, we understand that this is her dark side. This is going to be her negative emotions. And then we have a journal entry saying, "I've got to stop living like this. Why have I become so far from the light?" Really sets the tone immediately. If you have felt any negative emotions, you're going to connect, you're going to feel sad, you're going to feel a type of empathy for whatever Selena's going through. This also very quickly establishes Selena Gomez as a very vulnerable character. We are expecting to hear her deepest, darkest secrets. So, we're ready for the whole documentary to be about her feelings. And having this whole setup of this being her deepest, darkest secrets, it begins to build that type of parasocial relationship. It starts to build a connection. The best way to become best friends with somebody, ask them what their deepest thought is.
Did we just become best friends? Yup!
And the reason this is so successful at building a connection is because when someone shares something deep or emotional to you, you feel that them being vulnerable means they trust you. So it, like, you know, it makes you feel close. So right off the back, again, I'm saying right off the back, is that a phrase or is that not a phrase? I don't know. So from right at the beginning, you could just watch the first 5 minutes and realize what this documentary is about and how well it's gonna do at establishing a parasocial relationship, painting Selena Gomez as kind of like a vulnerable character. This documentary is very successful at building that parasocial relationship. As a viewer, you watch Selena as she struggles with her depression, struggles with her mental health, and so you begin to feel close to her even if she doesn't know you. This is how artists in general build a connection, either through their lyrics or through their other type of art. Most likely, musicians will use their lyrics to connect to other fans, and then before you know it, you're buying all their merch. The documentary does a good job making you relate to Selena, even if you've never felt fame. You have felt her emotions, and so it brings her back down to a place of like humanity where you can say, hey, I felt depressed, she feels depressed, there's a bond forming. Now, the whole point of the documentary is mental health awareness. How well does the documentary establish that part? Well, I mean, throughout the documentary, we see Selena feeling alone in her mental health journey. We watch her go up and down and how she struggles to maintain just an okay state. A big part of the documentary is her searching for her identity. She feels alone, which is due to the fame in a way, but it's also due to her mental health. She doesn't feel heard. She doesn't feel listened to. She feels like her feelings don't make sense, but she's unable to reach out to the correct people who can tell her what she's feeling and what it means. And that's very relatable for a lot of people. Throughout the documentary, you watch her struggle to find her identity. She goes back to her childhood home. She goes to Kenya, which I want to pause, and I love the part of the documentary where she actually goes to Kenya. I thought that was really cool, but I'm going to focus mainly on how it affected her mental health. When she goes to Kenya, she seems to enjoy it. She seems to feel fulfilled with helping, but there's also a part of her that feels kind of like she can't really relate to them, as well as when she immediately goes back to London. That's really hard for her because she has like a culture shock. With all the good points that the documentary does at showing just mental health in general, it does a great job showing how celebrities deal with mental health, especially with fame and the juxtaposition of being famous while also wanting to help others and being treated so radically different depending on who you're around. Some people are praising you, other people act like you're a normal human, and you lose your identity. The documentary does a good job showing that celebrities are humans too. Yeah, that was a controversial statement. Okay, to be fair, I'm not a celebrity, but I can imagine how easy it is to start feeling like a product, start feeling like a piece of meat. Selena Gomez even goes into how she feels like this after an interview.
I'm done. I can't do that anymore. That's so... Do you know how like cheap it makes me feel? She's asking me questions, like good ones, and then she didn't even pay attention to what I was saying. I don't want to do that ever again. I feel like a product.
And you can look up the clip online, and you can see the comments even debating whether or not Selena is a product or a human. Not that she's not a human, but like, is she a product? Is her image a product? And is she allowed to feel upset that she feels like a product? The opinion on it is pretty divided, more than I expected. If you are a singer, if you are the face of a brand, do you become the product? Is your image the product then and people are buying stuff because of your image? Don't you kind of become a product? And then, if you are trying to sell mental health and you are using your own mental health to sell mental health awareness, does your mental health now become the product? And now, are you complaining about the very thing that you are paid to do?
Not at all. Raquel was saying I need to get rest. Not like it's a bad thing. Of
No,
course
it's
I
not a
would
bad
want
thing
to-
at all. It was the way that you said. It's not what you said.
So I was not complaining about work. I was literally just complaining that it'd be nice if I get more sleep.
The lines become blurry very fast. I think in a way it's comparable to Twitch streamers or vloggers where the line between your life and then content becomes blurred, and before you know it, you're making content that's about your life, but your life is the content, and you don't know at what point are you doing content, at what point are you actually living your life. I think when you're in that type of situation, it's easy to become the product, but you have to set up boundaries. You have to figure out the line, establish it, and then know what you're going to share and what you're not going to share. And I think this documentary is a good example of that. We are seeing, what I'm assuming at least, is the boundary of what Selena is comfortable to share. I mean, I might be wrong. Maybe she felt like this crossed a lot of lines. I don't know. I'm hoping she's healthy enough to have established those boundaries. So from my perspective, I'm understanding it as this is her boundary. This is what she's willing to share with us. And so in a way, this is her life as a product. So as viewers, we have to remember this is what Selena Gomez wants us to see. It's not to say it's fake. It's not to say that it's not entirely not real at all. It's still real. We just don't get the full picture. So we don't really know Selena Gomez. We know a part of her. We know the product that her PR team said, yes, that'll be good for your brand, and allowed us to see. Now then, why did this PR team allow some of these scenes to appear in the documentary? Selena Gomez, the diva? Let me preference this. I do not think Selena Gomez is a diva. I think she is someone who struggles with depression, bipolar disorder, possibly even OCD. That is not confirmed. I might be spreading rumors here. Based on how she described looping thoughts and spiraling, it was really similar to OCD, and OCD and bipolar disorder are often combined, not always, but it can be, so I wouldn't be shocked if she has OCD, but yeah, that's a rumor. I'm not a doctor. Don't take that for word, okay? I'm just saying, she struggles with her mental health, so I don't think she's a diva. I think the documentary just did a poor job conveying her emotions sometimes. Still, a lot of commenters think she's a diva. Don't believe me? Go ahead. Search any clip you want, My Mind Me, read the comment section. I'll wait. I'll be right here. I'm not going anywhere. Did you see it? Right there. Selena Gomez is a diva. So I am astounded that the PR team okayed the clips in the documentary that they did.
We have Marissa's birthday dinner the night we get back.
The night we get back. No, I'd rather do what I'm doing. I'm not going to that. I have to do shoot a music video the next day.
Not because I think she looks like a diva, but how easily these clips can be yanked out of context and paint Selena Gomez as a diva. I mean, out of context, she looks rude.
Nice.
I mean, it's a lot.
It'll be good.
No, it is good, but you're gonna be kind of messed up for a few days.
Yeah, totally. Just thought you would want to come with
I
us.
would, but I'm not gonna have one day to adjust.
Okay.
Do you think that I'm complaining about my job?
Yeah. You sounded like you were.
I mean, did you see the way she was snippy with her friend? The only thing I can figure out on why the PR team might have been like, it's okay to leave in, is maybe they're hoping that someone will say, wait, she's not a diva, go watch the whole documentary, then you'll get it. But that's a lot of faith that someone who sees a YouTube clip is gonna read a comment and then go watch the full documentary. I mean, I did, but I had to use my one free trial of Apple TV in order to watch this thing. You're welcome, by the way. But I doubt very many people are going to do that. If you're on YouTube, you're probably gonna stay on YouTube. Again, I don't think she's actually being a diva. Based on the context of the documentary, I can easily see why she was probably a little cranky with her friend. She was just in Kenya, she comes back and she feels this culture shock, she's exhausted, she's still dealing with mental health issues. I get why she's cranky. She's putting up boundaries and her friend is not doing a good job respecting them, but also Selena Gomez isn't doing a very good job conveying her boundaries. But anyways, I can see both sides. I can see Selena's, but when you yank it out of context, you can't. You don't see the full picture. You have to see the whole documentary. And when the whole point of your documentary is to paint Selena Gomez as a sad, vulnerable character, you don't want people thinking she's cranky. My opinion is, though, that I'm glad that they left these clips in context, because like, no one's perfect. So to have these clips where she's being a little cranky is nice because it shows how mental health affects you. It shows that even though you're upset about one thing, if you don't figure out how to deal with that thing you're upset by, it trickles down and suddenly you're kind of being rude to your friend and you might have a fight with your friend. You know, that's real. That is mental health. But I wish the documentary would have done a better job at expressing this, because I'm not the deepest thinker, but I feel like I had to think critically to recognize, oh yeah, she was just in Kenya, she had culture shock, and now she's being cranky with her friend, and that's why she's acting that way. The documentary does not spell it out. I think the fight between Selena, I don't even know if you can call it a fight, whatever it was, between Selena and her friend is the best example of the documentary kind of failing, because there's not good communication between Selena and her friend, but there's also not good communication between the documentary and the viewers.
You think I'm ungrateful for it?
No, I don't think you're ungrateful. I just feel like you've been so down kind of the past couple days. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on. We had the most amazing week in Africa.
I know. I'm just waking up. You've heard me tell everybody how much I love London. Mm-hmm. What else do you want from me?
Nothing.
So...
And what I mean by that is the documentary has a bunch of clips and they cut pretty quickly. And so as a viewer, you might think, new clip, new day, new Selena. And you might not realize that 5 clips ago she was in Kenya, and now she's in London, and she was cranky in that interview, and that is why 5 clips later she's cranky with her friend. I'm not saying the documentary should have portrayed Selena Gomez in a perfect light. I just think they should have portrayed her in a justified light, in a way that we understood, oh, this is why she's feeling the way she is. And that's where I think the documentary fails. It fails to actually have Selena Gomez express her emotions. We see her do a lot of things, we see what we think, and we can assume is her mental health affecting her, but she doesn't always come out and state it. Which, is good. Like, you're supposed to show, not tell, but when it's feelings, it's a lot harder to convey that without telling, because otherwise we're just guessing and assuming. So that's why I think the documentary failed. But, in another way, the documentary was successful because it portrayed mental health in a very real way. We've all had cranky days. We've all said stuff in more rude of a way than we meant to. And it made Selena Gomez more human. Hashtag Selena Gomez is so relatable. But when you clip things out of context, you don't see the full picture. You don't see Selena Gomez struggling with bipolar disorder or lupus. You see her as being cranky to a friend. But at the end of the day, we are all dealing with invisible scars. So I think the moral of it all is to treat others with kindness, especially yourself. Did you watch My Mind and Me? What did you think of it? Am I crazy? Did Selena Gomez come off as rude, or am I being just a little too harsh? Did the documentary actually do a good job portraying her emotions? Or am I correct? Let me know in the comments below. That's all for this video. Stay awesome.
Zoe, the